Hey everybody, hello. Jessica Coulter here, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. Today we are continuing our series about disruptive students. And if you've missed the first two, if you have a disruptive student, I encourage you to go back and watch those either on Facebook or on YouTube. We are focusing today on anybody that has a teen at home that is getting distracted by the disruptors, okay? So before we get going, if you're watching this on Facebook, I'm sorry that I'm probably upside down or sideways because my phone still isn't working with me. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. So you might want to switch over to YouTube because that seems to be going better. But I also want to hear from you guys. If you're watching this, moms and dads, parents, guardians, teachers, do you hear stories? Do you hear from your own kids about them being distracted by students who can't stay in their seats, who refuse to put the phones away, who refuse to be quiet? If that is something you're experiencing, like I said, as a parent, as an educator, as a caregiver, I want to hear about it because unfortunately, it's all too common for what I see as a substitute teacher. That is why, as a tutor, I love working with students one-on-one because it is so personalized, so individualized, and there are no distractions. It's just me and one student. Okay? So I want to let you know I have an awesome Facebook group where we help students. I help students love learning no matter what's going on in the classroom environment. So if you're not a member, I encourage you to check that out. So we've identified if your kid is dealing with this. If your child is dealing with disruptors, you're wondering, okay, what do I do? How do I help my teen? Well, there are some measures that your teen can take, and these are things that can happen right away. I will tell you, moms and dads, that it might get to a point where you need to step in if these things don't work, if there's just a really bad situation you've been dealing with, say, for all semester, hopefully not all year, but, you might have to step in as we end the year here pretty close, and if grades are hanging in the balance and it's a make or break, or even if it's just for your teen's own mental health, their sanity, and getting through this year, in one piece. So, first thing I encourage your teens to do, if your kids are sitting next to the kids that are disruptors, see if they can move. Sometimes that's as simple as it is. Sometimes it's a matter of having the kids that want to learn closest to the teacher as possible. That means front row. That means, a particular side of the room where the teacher's desk is, closest to where the whiteboard is. Wherever the teacher is teaching, presenting information, that's where your teen wants to be, who wants to learn, okay? Unfortunately, it gets to the point where disruptors are going to disrupt and nothing's going to be done, It's not the teacher's job to be able to keep the control of those. As a substitute teacher, as a member that has lots and lots of educators, there's only so much teachers can do. So I can tell you that I've been told, and I've seen it myself, that the kids get sent out of the classroom and then they're sent right back. So that doesn't do anyone any good. It was a waste of the teacher's time. It's a waste of the kid's time to maybe learn something if he was, going to focus, pay attention at all instead of doing whatever disruptive behavior he was to get him out of class. And, that kind of hurts that relationship between student and teacher, let alone teacher and administrator or whomever sent him back. Okay? So just know, parents, that you want your kids to learn. That's why you're here. That's why you're considering joining my group if you're not already a member. And we've got to get your teens the information some way, somehow. And if the disruptors, the distractors are preventing that, I'm not okay with that. I know you're not okay with that. And like I said, let's get your kids as close to the teacher as possible. So like I said, front row, corner of the room where the teacher's teaching, whatever it's going to take. Now, there are other things that your teen can do as well. So I'm going to share those with you in a second. Before I do, I'm live on Facebook, I'm live on YouTube, so I hope you're a follower, I hope you're a subscriber, because I go live almost every day, Monday through Friday, all about learning, all about school, and, I want to help your teens. So, what can your teen do in class? Well, something that I've seen a lot of, and, maybe parents, you don't know this, but sometimes the teacher saying, be quiet, or, hey, pay attention, or, we're doing this, isn't enough. Sometimes students listen to other students more so. Okay, there's been more than once when a student has stood up for me as a substitute teacher and has said, "Hey guys, she's talking," or "Hey, listen up, somebody," and that sometimes gets the entire classroom to be quiet, the entire classroom to focus. Why does it work? Well, you and I both know there are people with charismatic personalities. You and I both know that no matter how much we might not want to admit it, we would try not to let it happen. It does happen. There are cliques, there's a hierarchy, and the students that other students listen to sometimes have the power to change the entire classroom setting, the entire classroom culture. Okay, so if your teen is that particular teen, your child is the one that friends listen to, your teen's the one that, other kids look up to, encourage your teen to get them to behave. Sometimes it's as simple as having your teen turn to his classmate and be like, "Hey, I'm trying to learn here," or having your daughter look to the person behind her and say, "Why are you talking?" Whatever kind of thing, whatever personality your child has, do know sometimes it's just simply your teen saying something to his classmates, to her classmates, that makes an entire difference. Okay? Now, the last thing I want to leave you with, the most important thing for you to understand, the most important thing for your teen to understand, is that if your child wants to learn, he's going to learn. Okay? If she wants to get an A in that class, she wants to pass that test, she wants to be done with that class so she can move on to the next class that, the disruptors aren't going to make it to because they're never going to pass this current class because they're not learning, they're not turning in homework, they're not paying attention. Well, then do know if your teen wants to learn, she can learn. If he wants to pass that class, he's going to pass that class. It comes down to how hard your child wants to work. Is it fair that your child has to do more work if there's disruptors that just are always going to disrupt in class? No. But if it comes down to you parents, you call and say, "Hey, this is a problem." You get told my kid can't change classes because, that is an option at the beginning of the year, at semesters, is to possibly change hours, change teachers. But if you get told that's not possible, or like we are now towards the end of the school year, probably not very realistic, then do know your teen can go in before school, can go in during study hall, during seminar, or advisory, whatever your school might call it, and do the extra work to get the extra help in case things were hard to understand, things were hard to pick up in class with so many people talking, moving around. So I do know that there are teens out there that want to learn in the classroom environment. Classmates, sometimes the teacher, is a problem. And I know it's not fair to you, it's not fair to your teens, but teachers can only do so much. And I think you're aware of what the school situation is like, with how many teachers are leaving. And I gotta tell you, there are days, as a substitute teacher, it's rough. Because kids, some of them just don't want to listen. And this video is for all of you parents that have teens that, are the good kids. Are the kids that are there to learn, is all I mean by good kids. A kid that wants to learn makes all of us educators so, so happy. Whenever a kid says, "Hey, can you explain this?" or, "Hey, I want help with this," makes me so happy. So for all of the students I've already worked with, all the parents I've had a chance to meet through my events, through my channels, through my Facebook page, I'm so happy you're in my world, and I hope we get to talk more and more, starting with my Facebook group. So make sure you're a member of that. Click the link in the description, answer a couple questions, and you'll be in. And, if you're looking for some tips, helping to ignore distractions, your teen needs to figure out how to do that. Unfortunately, it's never going to stop at school, the workplace, whether it's someone's music that's too loud, someone that won't stop talking, or even something as simple as having trouble seeing the board because of a really tall person. I have tips, tricks, strategies. So have an awesome night. I hope to see you in the group very, very soon. Bye, guys.